welcome back to My Tech Zone. Today we're going to continue learning about string manipulation techniques, which is part 6 of our Python series. So let's get started with it. I'm going to share my screen and let's get into Replit. And as usual, let us create one REPL. And let's call it Python series part 6. As you all know, in Python series part 5, we have covered up 5 string manipulation techniques, which was upper, lower, and swap case. And along with that, we did starts with and ends with. Today, we're going to learn the other 5 important methods, which is going to help us in the next upcoming series. So let's again take an example of a string. So let's take a variable and let's store a word in this. Let's call it Python is trending. So how can you manipulate this string? So apart from the last series 5 techniques, today we are going to learn about extra 5 techniques. I'm going to start with something called count. So what is count going to do? So you can basically count how many times a particular character is going to repeat. So it could be a letter or it could be a word. You just have to define the pattern and Python is going to check for it. And it will count how many times it's being repeated and it's going to answer for you. So let's see how that works. So let's store it in a variable. Let's call it C. And from string, I'm counting. Count is a function. So we got to open the brackets. So here in the brackets, we got to tell them what are we counting. So in the quotations, let's say we are counting I maybe. And if you see in our string, we have 2 I. One is here and one is here. So as per our expectations, when I run the print, if you see, the answer should be 2. Correct? So this is one of the technique. And apart from count, what else we have is replace. In the replace technique, we're going to tell them what are we going to replace each one with. Suppose I want to replace trending with, popular language or, basically any word or any letter you want to replace. This technique is going to help for us. So let's again take R as a variable maybe. And so in this replace, computer expects you to do 2 things. First one, tell them what you're planning to replace and with what are you replacing it with. So I want to replace trending with popular. And now if I print R, let's see if it is being updated or not. There we go. You could see Python is popular is updated. So there might be a question that's arising. What if my T is capital here? Will Python consider this trending and this trending as same? No, because Python is a case sensitive language. So what could happen here? Most of you must be guessing, will there be an error? No, actually there is no error. Rather, it would not change anything. It would just be Python is trending. So let's just keep it back to the old one. And these two are common techniques. And apart from this, we have length. What is this length gonna do? It will count the number of characters in the string. So, but the way you do this length is little different syntax compared to the other methods. So let's call it length and equal. So the keyword to calculate length is len, and it's a keyword, basically a function. So I need the brackets, and here in the brackets, I need to tell Python for what I'm planning to find the length. So we have a variable called string. I'm going to use that. So now let's print the length and check and run the code. You can see that we got it as 18, but if you calculate carefully, we only have 16 characters here, but the computer is going to even count the 2 spaces. Hence, we got 18 as the answer, right? And apart from length, we have 2 more techniques. One is indexing and slicing. That's the last 2 techniques that everyone should remember. Indexing is basically, we being humans, we always count numbers from 1 and then keep going on. But computer basically always counts numbers from 0. So if you want to bring the first letter out from Python is trending, you have to just tell them your string. In the square brackets, mention which index number you want. Index number is basically your position number minus 1. So you can see that P is currently in position number 1. So in case if you want the index of P, it's going to be 1 minus 1. It's going to be 0. So now if you run the code, you can see we got P. Similar way, you can get the other letters too. And finally, we have slicing. So I think the name itself indicates clearly to you guys that slicing is basically cutting. I want to cut Python from this entire string, or I want to cut trending, or I want to cut last 3 letters. So basically, how do you do substring is all about slicing. So here, again, tell them that it's from string. In the square brackets, you need to tell them where are you planning to start with and where are you planning to end with. So let's take an example. Let's try to cut Python, basically bring out Python from the string. So you can see that Python is starting from 0, the index, and let's count. If P is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So N should be 5. So if I run the code, is it going to be Python? Let's check. You could see that it's not giving me N, though N index number is 5. Because whatever index number you put at last, that is basically the stopping value. And if you put 5 here, it's never going to come because it will just end one number before it. So if you want 5 to come, you got to put 6 here. And ta-da, there we go. Python. All right. So these 5 extra techniques apart from the last video are really going to help us in the upcoming series. So that's a simple and short video. I'm going to meet you next for the special data types we're going to learn on lists, tuples, sets, and dictionaries. Thanks for watching the video. I'm going to meet you soon. Please like, share, and subscribe. Take care.